Hi there, we're going to look at a MasterGMAT sentence correction question. Looks a little long, but the whole point here is to find the little itsy bitsy errors and to make our lives a little easier. So let's get going. Of course, if you want to give it a try, pause the recording, unpause it when you're done to listen to the rest of the explanation. So if you want to try it out, pause the recording now. Okay, so let's go through this. Of course, the first thing we need to do in any sentence correction question is to look for 0 to 2 grammatical errors in the underlined portion of a sentence. So according to our MasterGMAT grand plan or work order, this first step can be achieved, of course, through observing the stop signs. The stop signs are those specific red flags we need to watch out for, which tell us to check whether there is an error. So, of course, the most obvious one is the word as. Now, as you know, hopefully, the word as is a comparison word, and as compares verbs, not nouns. In order to compare nouns, we use words like or unlike. As must compare verbs, and since there is no verb in the as portion of the sentence, we cannot use it. It's an error. So right away, we get rid of A. B puts a little verb in the as portion. We keep it. C as the proportion in the test group. Also missing a verb. We can get rid of that. In D, like the test group. Pay attention. Now they're using like. And like basically compares nouns. And since it's comparing a noun, that's okay for now. Let's keep it. In E, as were included in the test group. As does contain a verb, therefore we keep that as well. So what are we left with over here? We've gotten rid of A, we've gotten rid of C, we're left with B, D, and E. The next step in our work order is to look for other grammatical errors in the rest of the answer choices. And let's take a look at B again. B does not seem to have any grammatical errors. We keep. D. Well, pay attention. The included over here is quite different than the rest of the answer choices, isn't it? So, what do we have? We have would have included. Now, would have included is basically a future past perfect, and that is used in the GMAT for conditionals, and we do not have a conditional sentence over here. So, that's the first reason to reject this answer choice. The second one, and very, very importantly, is the word like over here is comparing something completely different than the original sentence. Now, this actually makes it an illogical comparison. This answer choice illogically compares the test group itself with the proportion of foreign-born employees included in that group. Got to be careful over here. So instead, the control group and the test group should be compared in terms of the proportion of foreign-born employees which each group has. So whenever you see a like or unlike or word like as or than, you need to pay attention that not only is the comparison grammatically correct, but also that the comparison is logically correct. It has to make sense. So we get rid of D. Let's look at E. Now we're left basically with E and with B. The main difference basically, or the only real difference here, is that B is in the active, as the test group does, whereas E is in the passive, as were included in the test group. There are no grammar errors, so we need to look for a stylistic issue, such as redundancies. Now, the passive is always less preferred than the active. Everything else being equal, meaning if there are no grammar errors, and one sentence is active and concise, and the other sentence is passive, we get rid of the passive. Passives are not well liked. It doesn't mean that passives are incorrect. Passives can certainly be correct. However, if one fixes the passive and doesn't contain any grammatical errors, we pick that one. And indeed, we have our time awareness tool, of course. It took us longer than 2:45, but over time this makes you super aware of your time. Let's click on OK. And of course, we have our stop sign. Even in right answer choices, we remind you of your stop sign so you never, ever forget what you're looking for. That's it for now. See you next time.